This is from, again, the names. Brian Merzen. I hope I got that right. My 60-year-old wife is just starting the barbell. She has some varicose veins in one leg and wanted to know if it was okay to do the squat and the deadlift. Years ago, her doctor would not do any type of procedure and said it was just cosmetic. What are your recommendations? My recommendations are that she's do squats and deadlifts. And you know, if she's got painful varicose veins, she's got really, really marked, like dramatic varicose veins, and most importantly, if she's got unilateral lower extremity swelling, that needs to get checked out. I mean, presumably, her doctor knew what he was doing, looked at her and said, you've just got varicose veins, and you're fine, right? But the real red flag for me would be pain in that area and unilateral lower extremity swelling. Unilateral lower extremity swelling, edema in that area, and pain, those are red flags that warrant evaluation. In the absence of those red flags or any other sort of systemic symptoms of any kind or comorbidities, lift. And really the doctor would not do any type of procedure, right? Well, and said it was just cosmetic. Okay.
There's a lot of doctors out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of doctors out there. So all other things being equal, again, we can't advise you. I can't advise you as a doctor. I can only advise you as a coach who happens to be a doctor. As a coach, if you're really worried about it, I would tell you to get it checked out. Otherwise, I don't see any contraindication to training here. Go forth and do good.
I don't have much to add. Again, I'm wondering if what this means is that it is cosmetic, meaning she doesn't have any complications from it. It's just they're there. She sees varicose veins. And if that's the case, the likelihood of squats and deadlifts irritating or exacerbating that condition
or
is
improving,
low. Yeah,
or improving it.
It's pretty
right?
low.
It's just not going to do anything.
But yeah, it's a different conversation if squatting and deadlifting causes pain in the leg and swelling, like you said, and then that's a conversation that needs to be had with a physician, a doctor. Yeah. But yeah, usually it's not a problem. It's fairly rare.
Next question is yours. Peter Greed asks about barbell walkouts.
Oh yeah. All right.
I thought you would like this question.
Why?
Because I thought you would. It seemed like it was like your kind of thing to answer.
Greetings from the south coast of England. Hi. Plowing a lonely furrow here. Oh boy.
Interesting turn of phrase.
My question is, are there benefits to walkouts and would you recommend for the master's athlete? If so, do you do these as singles and at what percentage above weight achieved? For example, on my heavy day, I have squatted 128 kilograms for 4, 4, 4, and 5. So 4 sets there.
So around, what, 280, 290 pounds, he's in that range.
If these are useful, would it be 10% or 20% above the 128 kilograms? Have the book and am using your HLM program as the base for my workout. Best regards, Pete Greed. Heavy walkouts can be useful. I think they're most useful as an instructive tool for somebody that wants to sort of test out a weight before they have to commit to it as they're progressing up in weight. My advice would be to just try it. It sounds like you lift by yourself, right? So you probably have a lot of these questions and maybe you don't have people to bounce these ideas off of. The best thing for you to do is try it. Add in some heavy walkouts for like a couple months or something and see if you feel like there's any benefit to it. They can be helpful for people. But here's the one caveat that I would give. The chance of misstep with a really heavy bar that you've never moved before is definitely higher. Maybe it's not inherently dangerous, I'm not saying that, but it's higher. And so I would be very conservative with that. I would start with 5% or something, just a little bit more weight.
I couldn't agree more.
And just see, I would definitely do singles with it. I don't know if you're, I mean, a heavy walkout is a single.
What else would you
You're
do?
just walking out.
Walk it out and walk it back.
Yeah. So I don't think that it can hurt, but I definitely wouldn't put 20% more weight on the bar. That's not a good idea.
So I've used them. Not myself. I haven't used them for myself. I've used them for clients under selected circumstances where there's something wrong with what I call either the 0th rep or the omega rep, meaning the unracking and walkout procedure itself, or putting the bar back, right? Which, by the way, are like great ways for people to screw up.
Yeah, it's the most important part of the lift.
Really, in a way, it is. I use it to basically fix the whole technique of unracking the bar and walking it out, and then walking it back in and racking it after you've finished your last rep of the set, what we call the omega rep. And those are, again, both ways that people screw up all the time. And so I assign walkouts almost punitively for people who screw that up.
Need them.
I think walkouts are essential for competitive powerlifters.
Yeah.
They absolutely need, if you're going to competition, right, and you're getting ready for like some like god-awful RPE irresponsible weight, right, for competition, you absolutely need to be doing walkouts. For general population, general training, and at the kind of weights that you're moving here, Peter, I'm not sure that they're that much help to you unless there's some sort of specific problem with the 0th or omega reps that you're trying to address.
I would call that pre-flight jitters.
Right.
You know, when people are thinking about a heavy squat they have to do 2 days from now, and then it gets in their head and it's too much, then, you know, a heavy walkout would be nice because you say like, well, I've already I've already felt 20 pounds more
that
than
on
that
my
or
back,
whatever, and it's doable. So, yeah, I can take the edge off, I guess, but it's sort of an instructive thing.
I hope that helps, Peter. Thanks for your question.
Do I have the next one?
Yeah, I gave you the next one as well. I gave you a couple in a row because I just thought they were good questions for you. So we have a question from Abelman for you.
Abelman, yeah. I have a long torso, and even with a substantial deadlift, I can't maintain a sufficiently erect back when squatting heavy. So I use a safety squat bar and can push my upper torso back as I go down to maintain a more upright posture. Once I get over 315, this is the only way I can maintain my form. I have a knee replacement and am under the impression that more vertical squatting creates less shear force on the artificial joint. Comments. I am 73, enhanced, a near lifetime lifter. What does enhanced mean?
I think it means that he's hormonally enhanced. Probably more because of his age than anything else, which is fine.
I don't know how I feel about this. I think that you can maintain an erect back while you're squatting.
Sure you can.
A safety squat bar makes it more difficult to maintain thoracic extension.
Yeah, thank you.
But it sounds like what's allowing you to more easily hold your back in place is high bar squatting. You're just squatting more vertically, right? Which makes sense. You're putting less of a demand on your spinal erectors in a more compressed spinal position.
But if he has a long torso relative to his legs, that's what he's going to look like anyway, right? He's going to look more front. Even if the bar's in a low bar position on his back, and he squats and he keeps the load over the middle of his foot,
he's going to be more vertical than you or me.
Yeah, he's going to look more front squatty.
Right.
There's just no way around that.
But using a safety squat bar so that you can keep your back more vertical than you otherwise would is a bad idea.
Yeah,
I'm just going to say that. Because think about this. The point of lifting these weights is not to put more weight on the bar. The point of lifting weights, at least the way we do it, is to make your body stronger. So one of the hardest parts of the squat is keeping your back rigid and secure, your torso rigid and secure while squatting. It's transmitting force through the middle of your body. And if you can game that and cheat a little bit by going more vertical, and that allows you to lift more weight, you're missing the point. I would rather see you have less weight on the bar and maintain good form and stress those erector muscles to do their job at whatever weight you can do that at, and then progress back up in load while maintaining that. Because that's the point of lifting. Your knee question ties into this too. If you've had a knee replacement and you want to have less unbalanced forces on the knee, let's call it, squatting as vertical as you possibly can with a safety squat bar is a great way. If this is the bottom of your leg here, this is the tibia and this is the femur. If you're squatting as vertically as possible, that's a great way to have more anterior shearing forces on the knee with more anterior tension.
The more vertical your torso is in the squat, the more relatively forward your knees are going to project.
Right, which is bad for the knees, actually. So what I would say is, if you want your knees if you want the joint itself to have the least amount of unnecessary forces on it, so that, I guess the assumption here is to have healthier knees that have less of these injurious forces on them, what you would want is a balance between anterior forces on the knees and posterior forces on the knee. And the way to do that is to squat in a low bar position with the amount of weight that your strength allows you to squat in that position.
Which allows you to partition more of the stress into your hips and less of it into your knees.
Which is sort of the point of squatting. Obviously, you're going to get more quad involvement either way because, like Sully said, you're going to have a more vertical back just because of your anthropometry. But that's what I would have you do.
I concur. And it would be a very, very bizarre anthropometry that would convince me that you just could not low bar back squat. I mean, we've both been to seminars, we've both had lots of camps, we've both had lots of consults, we both have a full strength training practice here. Nobody has ever...
lot of bodies.
A lot of body types, and nobody has ever walked in here for whom their anthropometry contraindicated a low bar back squat. Low bar back squats is just a natural human movement pattern. The variety that we see isn't in the ability to actually do a low bar back squat. The variety that we see is in what your diagnostic angles look like at the bottom of that low bar back squat. Those are going to be different from person to person, but the actual ability to low bar back squat, I think, is just about universal. I mean, I've never seen anybody who couldn't do a low bar back squat because of their anthropometry. There's other reasons why people can't low bar back squat, but anthropometry is not one of them.
And I would even argue that if you have such a long torso that it is more work for your spinal erectors to do to maintain an extended straight posture with your spine, then they should be stronger than mine.
Exactly.
Or some other short torsoed person, right? So.
Thanks for your question, Ellen. Appreciate it.